Okay, so let's unpack this. We tend to treat dentistry a lot like, well, like auto repair.
Like a mechanic, yeah.
Exactly. You go in, the mechanic drills out the rust, patches the hole, and you drive away.
Right.
But looking at this stack of research on the radiologic renaissance, that whole mechanical model is starting to look dangerously outdated.
It really is. And this is where it gets, I think, fascinating. The sources we're diving into today, led by this vision from Victor Ronald K.M. or Víck, they argue we need to stop acting like mechanics.
And start thinking like biologists.
Precisely. It's a huge shift toward what they call biohealth. The mouth, it's not a separate toolbox. It's a neurological and immunological gateway to the rest of your body.
And the mission here is pretty bold. It's not just about, nicer fillings.
Not at all.
It's about integrating high-end physics, specifically MRI and even decentralized governance, to completely overhaul how we look at systemic health. So where does this all begin?
It starts with the diagnosis. I mean, for decades, we've relied on X-rays and CBCT scans.
Standard practice.
And they're great for seeing mineralized structures, basically hard bone. But the sources point out this glaring flaw. X-rays use ionizing radiation, which has its own risks, and they only show you the scaffolding.
Right. It's like looking at a photo of a building. You can see if the walls are standing, but you have no idea if the plumbing is leaking inside them.
Exactly. X-rays are purely structural. They often miss the problem until the bone is actually destroyed. The radiologic renaissance is pushing for MRI.
Which is so interesting. MRI is usually for, soft tissue, brain scans, knee injuries.
But the argument here is that MRI shows vitality. That's the key word.
Vitality.
It's non-ionizing, so it's safer for repeated monitoring. But crucially, it shows fluid and inflammation. It lets you see marrow health, blood flow, inside the jaw.
And this is how they spot these so-called silent infections.
Yeah, specifically something called fatty degenerative osteonecrosis of the jawbone, or FDOJ.
I want to pause on that because the literature makes it sound intense. It's basically a hollow space in the jawbone that's filled with dead fatty tissue.
Yes, but on a standard X-ray, the outer shell of the bone, the cortical bone, it looks perfectly fine.
So dentist looks at the film and says, "You're good."
You're fine. Meanwhile, inside that dead zone, it's pumping out inflammatory toxins, things that the sources link directly to autoimmune diseases and chronic fatigue.
And they're not just, squinting at these MRI scans. There's AI involved.
Right. The protocol uses AI algorithms to analyze bone density patterns, and from that, it can actually predict systemic risks. It turns the jawbone into a diagnostic dashboard.
Okay, so you find these toxic zones. Now what? This takes us to the protocols, to living dentistry.
Biodental protocols. This is where the whole mechanic idea really gets thrown out.
Because the focus shifts to biocompatibility, like the SMART protocol for removing old silver fillings.
The safe mercury amalgam removal technique.
Most people don't realize that silver filling is, 50% mercury?
About that, yeah. And the sources are clear. You can't just drill it out. If you do, you vaporize that mercury, and the patient just inhales a potent neurotoxin.
It's basically a hazmat situation.
It has to be. It requires oral dams to seal off the throat, high-volume air filtration, even supplemental oxygen. You have to make sure the cure doesn't poison the patient.
And it's not just what you take out, it's what you put back in. There's a really strong case made against titanium implants.
Titanium is a metal, and in your mouth, which is a saline environment, it can conduct electricity.
Galvanism. You're creating a little battery in your jaw.
Precisely. That current can disrupt the nervous system. So the biodental approach swaps it for zirconia.
Which is a ceramic.
Right. Non-conductive, neutral. And the soft tissue actually bonds to it instead of just growing around it.
So let's pivot to the most unexpected part of all this. You expect the medical innovation. You don't necessarily expect blockchain.
The biodental DAO. The decentralized autonomous organization.
High-tech medicine usually means a massive corporate structure. This flips that script completely.
Well, it's about misaligned incentives. In a traditional model, patient care is always fighting with profit margins. The DAO structure puts governance into the hands of a board of patient advocates.
So the community, the people getting the care, they actually own the protocol.
That's the goal outlined here. It's an attempt to democratize medicine, to ensure that the focus stays on whole-body healing instead of, upselling procedures.
It's a really comprehensive vision. We've gone from MRIs finding invisible rot in the jaw to replacing oral batteries with ceramics, all managed by a community on a blockchain.
It just reinforces the central idea. Dentistry is not a standalone field. It's a critical, maybe the most critical part of systemic medicine.
It absolutely makes you rethink a simple toothache. I mean, if the jawbone is really a sentinel for your entire body's health and it's hiding things that our standard tools miss, it really makes you wonder how many chronic systemic illnesses that we treat with pills are actually just dental problems in disguise.